Good morning, everybody. And the sheriff. Welcome to the Paulding County Board of Commissioners September 27, 2016 work session. We'll welcome all our invited guests and elected officials. Our Sheriff, Gary Gullidge, thank you for being here. Am I missing anybody else in the room? Chairman-elect Dave Carmichael, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Lindsay, our coroner, thank you for being here. Upcoming in January, so that's great. Why don't you bring the Our invocation and pledge will be brought to us today by Pastor Thomas Cole with the North Paulding Baptist Church. Would you stand with me if you're able?
Good to be here with you today. Appreciate the opportunity to stand and do this always, and I want to just offer a prayer for you if I could. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord. We thank you for the opportunity to come before your throne once again, God, and just call on you for your mercy and your grace. And Lord, I ask you to be with each and every one of our county officials, Father, as they serve in this community. And Father, I pray that they follow your leadership, that they listen to your voice as you speak to their hearts, God, about what this county stands in need of. Father, also I pray today for all of our law enforcement in this county and the tough job that they have because of the way that this world is going, God. We have no idea what they face each and every day. God, we lift them up. Father, I pray that everything in this meeting today that is said, that is done, is pleasing in your sight. And Father, when it's all said and done, we'll be careful to give you the praise, the glory, and the honor for everything that's done. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Pledge allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's a beautiful prayer. Thank you for being here. Good to have one of our regulars back in the room, Dr. Covington. Thank you so much for being here. Glad to see you. The minutes of September 13, 2016 work session minutes and the 2013-2016 board meeting minutes are available for your review. The November 8, 2016 work session and board meetings have been rescheduled for Thursday, November the 10th, 2016 at 10 and 2. We have an election on the 8th, so that's been moved to the 10th, so please change your calendars. I believe this time we have Fire Chief Joy Pelfrey would like to make a couple of remarks.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Appreciate you giving me some time this morning. I wanted to let everybody know that the open burning season is starting this Saturday. We've got some extreme drought conditions, so we're going to be monitoring and asking people to be very careful. We've already had a couple of road fires the last few days. So we do have the option of inducing the burn ban back on. And that may be something we have to do. We're going to monitor the weather. We know we're in a drought right now. And we have the Chief Marshals here from Forestry. We're in close contact with her. And I've been talking to the surrounding county fire chiefs and EMA. So just want to let y'all know that we are monitoring that and that we want citizens to be real careful when they burn and use extreme caution.
And you had this permanent grin on your face. You got a new vehicle.
We did. We got the ladder truck was delivered yesterday. 100-foot platform that we received in the FEMA grant. So we were like a lot of kids out there. Commissioner Crowe said, "What did you say, Commissioner? I was like a tiger in the forest."
No, there's a story about a little boy. I said, in that story, you're the one. You think you're the grandest tiger in the forest.
And I said, "No, I'm just a monkey in a tree." You did. Thank y'all for your support with us obtaining this vehicle. We appreciate it.
Why were you and the sheriff out driving it last night? I mean, really?
He don't
know that.
Oh, it wasn't Joey. Okay.
No, he's a wannabe.
Okay, I understand. Well, it was a sheriff and somebody
I'm
driving
gonna be
down.
firefighter. He used to be a firefighter, so.
Thank
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
you. Lori, you got a big event today. You want to make that announcement?
We do this afternoon. We will have our groundbreaking for Richland Creek Reservoir. It will be held at the site of the water treatment plant. The access road is open off of Highway 61. You can't miss it. There's a large Richland Creek construction sign just to the north of that access road.
Thank you. Look forward to everybody being there. I saw Deidre in here earlier. Did she leave? We've got an election coming up on November the 8th. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, early voting starts October 17th. Is that correct? Here at the government complex. So double check when you can early vote. Last time I believe we had as many or more people early voted than voted on the day of election. That'll probably happen from now on out. So please check that out. The Board of Commissioners would now like to present the Public Safety Appreciation Award to Jenna Lee Walters for the Palm County Marshals Bureau. Would you please come forward?
All right, I have to go ahead and confess that I lied to her to get her here. We have business license season starting next week, and I said that we had to come talk about it. So she's been quizzing me all week.
No, confess the firing squad. You got that out.
I have never heard her say a bad word, but I'm pretty sure she has one or two going through her head. Basically, when we give the Public Safety Award out, we normally think of someone that's in uniform. One thing in my department, it is extremely instrumental to have the non-sworn individuals. Jenny Lee handles 2,900 business licenses a year. And when I say 2,900, it's a huge number, but it's not just here's your business license, go on and you're done. There are lots of questions, there's changes with the address, we have partnerships that dissolve, and now she has to be like the domestic dispute kind of person because it becomes such an issue. So there's a lot that she actually has to do. One of the other things are the certifications. There has to be proper certifications for certain types of business license. She's constantly making sure that those are right also. She deals with lots of other departments in the county. Of course, community development, we have to make sure that they're allowed to be doing what they are on this piece of property, permits. So she's having to deal not only with the county, but also state level, Department of Ag when it comes to animal control stuff, Department of Homeland Security on people that aren't supposed to be here working. So there's lots of different places that she has to be able to go to in order to get it done. So she's basically a counselor, a detective, and just overall very knowledgeable about what she needs to do for her job. She doesn't just work hard during renewal season, which is coming up. It will be pretty hectic, but throughout the year. She's constantly going over the licenses to make sure that the certifications aren't expired, if those licenses are still valid, and then all the people who have been burnt by somebody and they don't have a business license, so she has to actually get that entire case together, do the research on seeing where they are doing business, whether it's through social media, the internet, and then turn it over to our officers for them to go out and actually enforce it. She doesn't stop there either. She is a huge help to the Marshal Bureau when it comes to answering complaints for people, entering the calls for officers, and then keeping the officers updated. But most importantly, Jenny Lee is probably one of the most kindest and caring people I've ever met. She's the first to start planning birthday parties, and she makes the best homemade baked goods. And so, with that said, don't tell them when you bring it. With that said, Jenny Lee, sorry for lying to you. I know you're like, oh my gosh, in front of all the camera and everybody. But I want to make sure that you are recognized today for all your hard work and for what you do for not only Paulding County, but for the Marshal Bureau. So congratulations.
You don't know if you're that hair, do you? Hillary, you want to say anything?
Yes, I would.
You would step over the left.
I just want to say thank you so much to all of you in the county, just for your support, and thank you especially to Major Mahone and Lieutenant Daniel for hiring me and just giving me that chance when others wouldn't, and help me get my foot in the door. This means more than I can ever say, and you can probably ask Leslie. I don't really like crying, but I'm sure I'll be doing a little bit of that today. So thank you to my family for just their faith in me, and just thank you for all of your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Generally, we're fortunate to have you, so thank you very much for your dedication. The Board of Commissioners would like to present the National Surgical Technologist Week proclamation to Nicole Bates. Is Nicole in the room? Okay. No, Nicole. Moving forward, no invited guests, no bid awards. Report from committees and department, none. Public participation on agenda item, no one signed up. Consent agenda, we have 4 consent agenda items. Number 1, adopt revised fire department job classification quartermaster technician. Brian, I think that's been vetted through your office. We're good with that. Appoint Cynthia Wayne Scott to the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities, DBHDD, as a Paulding County representative. Declare item listed as surplus and approve their disposal through the auction or trade. The Tax Assessor's Department of a truck, Unit 371-99 Ford Ranger, serial number 1FTYR 10CXXPA 74956. Number 4, declare item listed as surplus and approve disposal through donation to Aries area. Help me with this.
Amateur radio emergency services.
They can operate in the middle of an emergency when no one else can. They're ham radio operators. They do a magnificent job. When the sheriff and the fire department plan a safety day, they're there and they can communicate when no one else can. So I think this is a great donation. This comes from the water department, and it's a 50-foot tower. Would you like to move any of these items to River Session? Hearing none, we'll move on. There's no old business. Under new business, discuss action to adopt resolution 16-41, authorizing the chairman to enter into a local government lighting project agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation for State Route 92 and State Route 120 to County Road 473, Cedar Crest Road, PI number 007692, Paulding County. Scott Green, this is in Post 1 and Post 4.
Thank you. Believe it or not, Highway 92 will be widened, and when they do, Georgia DOT is proposing roundabouts at some of the intersections. These are multi-lane roundabouts. We haven't seen a single-lane roundabout on a major road yet, but these will be, in fact, 4-lane highways leading to roundabouts, which will also have 2 lanes going all the way around. The locations proposed right now are Due West Road at the section going into Cobb and the section going into Paulding, as well as Old Burnt Hickory Road just below Crossroads. When they do install roundabouts, they typically add features, and one of those is street lighting to help bring attention to the intersection as you're going along, provide better visibility for pedestrians and for the vehicles. And in this case, they look to the local government, who typically provides street lighting, to provide this service for the project. In our case, our responsibility will be in the order of $500 to $1,000 per year for the energy and maintenance of these intersections. It would replace a traffic signal, which would typically cost as much or more, and we would also typically pay for the traffic signal energy and maintenance. most intersections.
Jane and I were recently in Mapleton and been through a road I hadn't been through in a while. And it's the largest roundabout I've ever seen. And Jane said, if Scott sees this, he'll have to build one bigger. So you gotta see this roundabout in Mapleton. It's gigantic. Any questions of Scott?
The only thing that the resolution does is authorizes the chairman to enter into the agreement with the state.
Thank you.
I know it kind of may seem a little whatever, but I'm excited about some roundabouts. I like it. I mean, some people may laugh about it, but I mean, I think they're great. I think they look nice. I think they're functional, efficient, and I'm excited about it.
Well, obviously, we have experience right here outside our door. Quite a bit of traffic uses this one here, as well as the Walmart on Highway 120. 6,000 cars a day use that intersection now for over 10 years with no problems. So we know everybody's been to that Walmart. We know everybody knows how to use a roundabout. So I'm not too concerned that we'll have any difficulty with it. When we get to placing them out on a highway, obviously drivers from outside the county passing through, we want them to be aware that they're coming up to a roundabout, and the lighting will help with that. In just a few years, Highway 92 will be under construction throughout the county. It will be, the question will change from when is it ever coming to when will it ever end. Sort of like Bill Cruz Parkway here lately. It is coming, and we're excited about it. Thank you for supporting this agreement.
Scott, have you ever tried to get on one of those roundabouts on a bicycle?
No, sir.
I love them other than that.
They know it's you. Thank you very much. Number 2, discuss action to approve the amendment to the investment policy allowing investments in the federal U.S. agency securities. Tabitha.
Okay, so what's bringing this up today is we sold bonds 2 weeks ago. We have those funds that need to be invested for until we're ready to use them. Because the project's going to extend through 2019. And we have some capitalized interest that also needs to be invested for a shorter time frame. So we have an investment policy that was adopted quite a few years ago. It's very safe. Basically, it applies to all funds of the government. And first and foremost of importance is the safety of the investment, to make sure that it's going to be there. The only difference that this makes in the investment policy today is it allows for an investment in agencies. So under Section 6, suitable authorized investments, it allows a bullet point that says federal agency or U.S. government-sponsored enterprise obligations, participations, or other instruments. And it also adds local government investment pools. I will add that we had a local government investment pool since 2013. You all are, the board approved the authorization for the resolution authorizing that government investment pool. This will allow us to have open another account. We'll have to open another account. That resolution will probably be back to you the first meeting in October. Because we have a custodian of those funds. So there are eyes watching those funds to make sure that they're all spent on the reservoir inside the county and outside the county. We have to report those. The difference, the reason that we want to add agency funds is there's a little bit of an added interest that we can earn with agency funds. However, we're not going to invest all in agency funds. We don't want to do that. We primarily use treasuries for our investments. You can't always get a treasury. Sometimes agencies will allow a little bit additional marketability. One example that we've had this was about a year ago. So we had a small investment that was bond proceeds, and the 3-month treasury was a negative amount. Well, I don't want to invest in anything that's going to cost me. I'm going to get less. I'll just keep it liquid. So that, and we would have had, this would give us the option to improve that short-term investment at a little bit higher rate. What we did in that instance is we just went longer. So we invested for 6 months instead of 3 months. And it allowed us a very small positive, but it was positive. Any questions?
Thank you for your diligence. If you'll stay there for a second. Number 3, discuss action to adopt amendments to the 2016 budget.
Okay, this is routine. We do this every year, but because I'm sure others have questions, I'm going to explain why we do this now. Fiscal year 16 is over. This doesn't authorize any additional funding at all. This is basically a consolidated effort of what you've approved over the past year. Most of these are related to at the end of the year, we close everything out, we adopt the budget, which doesn't include anything from the previous year. Then when we get everything closed, we've already made some obligations, so we have these outstanding encumbrances or purchase orders that we still owe those vendors because even though they were against the prior year's budget. So we add those to the original budget. Those are included in here. You have some of that, not a lot, but some. We tried to keep our expenditures down. I think that all of our departments have done a very good job of trying to keep those expenditures as low as they could, just because the funds were there and added between the original budget and the additional purchase orders. They didn't necessarily spend them in all cases. The other thing last year we budgeted for capital items in one line item of non-departmental. Then when those departments purchased those items, they were charged to that department as a cost of that department. So you have quite a few purchases that, like your information technology, government facilities, the state patrol office, Department of Driver Services. Those were all charged to the government facilities budget. Well, they were originally in the non-departmental capital items because those were grouped together. This just disperses that. Information technology, as I mentioned, had a few. So there are several. Department of Transportation had an LMIG contract from the previous year that wasn't adopted in the original budget. However, those funds were received for that particular purpose. So this puts those, like I said, it doesn't authorize any additional expenditure this time. The library, they were approved last year for quite a few renovations. They did a renovation to the Dallas Library and to, I believe, Hiram. Those were funded on a 50% cost sharing with states. So we paid half of that cost. So we actually spent like $129,000, but we received $204,000. Now, why did we wait until now to do this instead of doing it before the year end? Because we knew these things were going to, that they were in existence at the time. But if you look at the overall budget sheet, the amended revenue budget, under the fourth column, and really you can look at any budget that we put out, under the fourth column is labeled special court funds. Those funds are often in the possession of a constitutional officer. So you do have to adopt a budget. You do have to amend that budget if the revenues come in high or the expenditures come in low. You have to amend that budget. But those are made up of constitutional officers. So the sheriff has a commissary, for example. That commissary account, we receive all of the finances information for that commissary account in August for the previous year. He administers that account. We don't. However, we do, because it's a special revenue fund, we do have to have a budget for it. The DA has a victim witness fund. You'll hear about that often when his 5% fund that he administers. Well, that's also considered special revenue fund. We have to have a budget for it. I don't have the information until we go do the audit because they administer that fund throughout the year. So that's kind of why we're in September and amending. I don't have all of the information readily available until we start the audit process.
Any questions of Tabitha? Tabitha, you do an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you. Again, we got to thank her for the excellent job in keeping our county finances in great shape. Just recently, we were rewarded for that by Moody's and Standard & Poor's. And it means millions of dollars in savings. So thank you, and you have a huge team, so thank you for your team. Appreciate it. That's the conclusion of regular business session. There's no...
I'd like to add an item on this evening's agenda. We've gotten some bids from different vendors for an awning out back, and Shady Vent came in very low at $3,350. I'm sorry, $3,350, and I'd like to put that on the agenda this evening. I'd like to make a motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. I'm not in agreement, Tony and I've talked about this, I'm not in agreement with this awning. Mainly, we have hundreds of people come in and out of this building. We have a dedicated smoking area out at the pavilion. And I don't want to see another awning added to this building and encourage tobacco use. We built a fabulous new hospital for a lot of purposes, but fighting cancer to be one of those. And the biggest complaint I get on a daily basis is people having to enter this building and walk through and smell smoke, or when I talk to Mike Laird, people having to clean out garbage cans that people have spit tobacco in. That's just not a fun job. So I didn't want to put this item on. I've looked at the awning he's looking at. There's something bad looking on it. I just think it encourages bad behavior when we should be working towards becoming a tobacco-free campus. So that's my 2 cents.
I can't help but agree with David somewhat. I'm not a tobacco user. Some of my family has died with emphysema, heart attacks, various things because of smoking. When David and I talked, I asked David, did he think that if we did not put the awning up for the comfort of the employees, that would stop people from smoking and chewing? He said, no, I don't. I don't mean to encourage tobacco use, anything of that nature. My intention was to make those who would like to use that picnic table out there, whether they be smokers or not, more comfortable to get them out of the sun, to get them out of the rain. And it is a very good looking awning. We have pictures of awnings that was put on to our hospital. The Shady Vent did. They do a first class job. There's not a lot of money here, and it can be used, like I said, for any employee, not just for smoking and things of that nature, but they can sit down and have a sandwich. It's just, I'm doing it simply for the comfort of those employees here in the building. And I really wish everybody would quit smoking and dipping, but it's not going to happen. And I just would like to be an asset to the employees.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm trying to write an agenda item for Ms. Tibbetts. What's the name of the company?
Shady Vent.
Shady Vent? Is it an incorporation, Shady Vent Inc.? Do we know?
I can send you an email.
Okay.
So that you have it.
So what I wrote out, it was motion to add to agenda to pay $3,350 to Shady Vent, maybe incorporated, for awning for smoking area outside administration building. Is that correct?
we moved a arbor from the old location, made a good bit to have it reinstalled here for that very purpose of having a shade area to have sandwiches and take a break, and then also to allow people a chance to smoke. Now, what we've just done is added one to this building, and we won't be finished with this meeting more than 10 minutes where I get a call from the courthouse saying, we need a awning on the back of this building for people to go to smoke. When you open that door, you open it wide open, and then it just gets unleashed. We have an arbor. And Mike Lear told me that he has, for the frequent users, that he has used a meter to look at how many feet it is from their office out to this picnic table, or their office out to the arbor. It's 377 feet, exactly both ways. So I can't see spending this extra money for a handful of folks when everybody else has to suffer and walk through that smoke. It's in the back door, all employees come in that way, and it's not acceptable to me. There is a motion
There's a motion
and a second.
I'd like to say something. Sometimes it's amazing how much time we can take on something like this for $3,350, and I think every penny of the taxpayers is worth talking about. And then we can do other projects that nobody talks about. That's right, other projects that nobody talks about. And it costs the county millions of dollars. Mr. Crow, we've had several citizens that have asked about it. You know, hey, is there an awning or something to do for the employees? We've had a lot of employees. The bottom line is this. I think there was some sort of a study done a few years ago, and I think some folks wanted to make it a tobacco-free campus. And I guess if the majority of folks decided to do that, that's what would happen. I think when they went down that trail, that didn't work out. And that area that we're discussing is actually a smoking area. It's a designated smoking area. There's a sign there that has it, that says it. The employees that use that are not just smokers. I've seen folks sit out there and have their lunch on nice days. Seen them sit out there and make family phone calls or whatever they need to do. It's kind of like another break area. And if somebody's there smoking and a non-smoker decides to go there, that's a designated smoking area. I think it's fine. Actually, a few years ago, we looked at putting an awning across the whole end of the building and over that picnic area. And I think we used a company that probably overcharged us. We got a price from that same company to match things, and that price was, and I may be wrong, I can look it up, $17,000 for a little bit different work than what we're looking at. This price is $3,350, and I think Mr. Crow did it the right way. He got the estimates. He asked us all to go out and look at the hospital where they did some work, and they did a fine job out there. And I think it's just, it's not our business to control who's smoking or dipping. There's a designated area for the employees to do it. And I think this is a good thing for us to do for our employees, not just for smokers. There's other people that use it too. They're going to be smoking out there at the end of that building, whether they're underneath the shelter or not. And that is a designated smoking area that was designated a few years ago too. And I don't think it should have had to come to this. Again, it's amazing what we will discuss and how much work has gone into getting this done. how much is not done on other projects that cost the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. And so I support this, Mr. Crook. I appreciate your efforts in getting what you needed to get done to get the estimates and keeping in contact with us and keeping us all in the loop on this project.
Motion and a second, so we have to vote to add it.
Okay, there's a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Add it tonight.
Add it to the agenda
Add it tonight.
Say aye. Any nays? Nay. Passes 4-1. That's the conclusion of a regular business session, no executive session. No one signed up to participate on non-agenda items. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.